Hello everyone. I want to discuss today about the importance of sex, sexuality and money when making, decisions pertaining to marriage and relationship over religious values and ethics. Where religious values and ethics are sidelined and matter pertaining to sexuality and money are more important. So what's happening currently in the country, there is a wave of liberalism which is, across the country, and it is not just limited to the urban and the metropolitan centers. It's spreading across the country, very high proportionately across the urban areas, the metropolitan and the metro and big towns and cities, compared to the rural area, where situation is still far better and conservative. So in the liberal area of the country, young boys and girls, when they're entering into the, from the onset of 16 plus, if I'll start, they start taking decision based on, that okay, whom they want to date, flirt, have relationships, whatever you can call them. Okay, so they want to try out at a very early age, and that leads to marriage or no marriage, because as the situation is there, a lot of the youth coming into their late 20s and early 30s, late 30s, they're not marrying. They are having fear from marriage, and I want to discuss why. So sex, sexuality and money, these three things are more important compared to the ethics and values which are prevalent across different religion and faith. I'm not going, specifically targeting anyone, but I'm trying to include and accommodate all the religious faith which exist in our country. So when these young boys and girls are at a very tender age of 16, and then you come on to age of around say 19 and 20 plus, they enter college, graduation, post-graduation and higher education. In this entire process and the path, the primary focus is sexuality and sex. A lot of people might get offended, but I'm speaking very bluntly, because what's happening in the society, among the millennial boys and girls, it has to be discussed very bluntly. So the moment a young girl and a boy enters into the age of 16 plus, 18 plus, 20 plus, they start thinking about mating with opposite gender, where sexuality is of utmost importance. Now sexuality entails the personality of the opposite sex, the physical personality and the mental personality both, and along with that the career, that is also important. Now these aspects are so strong that premarital sex in our society is a norm now. In the urban areas, it's a norm. It's no more hidden. Both girls and boys are doing it, because you need both boys and girls to actually, to be in a relationship. So they both are trying premarital sex. They are having sexual relationships. They're trying everything, which is often, done post-marriage. These relationships are multiple in numbers. And it's not the sexuality which is concerned. Even aspects pertaining to money and career is more important. So a girl can, have sex with different, boys, and, and same with boys will have different girls. Now they will check out in their partners that are they, feeling happy while doing sex or not. If they are not feeling happy, both the genders can break up the relationship. They will try out everything, and I'm not going on the explanation part. You all can very well, you can understand. They will try out everything for, spanning around for a year or 2 or 3. They will also check other elements like how the overall behavior of the person, whether in public or whether in private. But apart from sex and sexuality, the other aspect which is more important and crucial is money, career, the qualification. That is of utmost importance, and not just of one particular individual, of a girl or a boy. Even it counts, it matters that the family is hailing from, has a good financial background or not. And I'm minded, even in arranged marriage, money has become an important part, because all the marriages are not happening, are not love marriages, but even before arranged marriage, you have multiple relationships. Premarital sex is a common norm. It's no more a taboo. So people can have premarital sex and get into arranged marriage, and then the trouble starts. Now, while all these things are actually happening, where does the religious values and ethics goes? Are they of any importance? Because the aspect of interfaith marriage is very strong, which I want to focus out here. So when girls and young boys are taking decision about their married life, about their relationship life, are they giving any importance to religious value, ethics, morals, principles? Because different religion have different set of values and ethics, and then they have different rituals pertaining to those particular religion, be it any religion. I'm not going to naming them. Now, do these young boys and girls and men and women are taking these principles, religious principles, into consideration while they are making decision pertaining to affairs and relationships? My observation is that largely it's not happening, and that's the reason we have a high number of marriages which are happening. It's not just interfaith, it's where religious values don't count, they don't hold any importance. I'm not generalizing the entire youth, but I'm trying to highlight a major chunk of the youth across the urban areas exhibit this sort of a mentality. Now, why sexuality is of so much importance? It is, they want to try out whether, how their partner kisses each other, how they hold their hand, how they're getting intimate. Both girls and boys, they both want to try out the moments of intimacy. Are they enjoying the act or not? And they go for a full intercourse. Okay, because when you're going to have physical relationship, you're going to do everything. They will try out everything, and then they will decide with that partner, are they feeling happy? If they're feeling utmost happy, relaxed, beautiful moments, then they will take up a call. Okay, I'll go ahead with this, his or her, and fine, we can enter into a marriage thing. So it is of utmost importance, and we have to understand that if we are going to sideline this, we'll be like fools, because this is what actually happening in the society. And I've already mentioned, career and money is again of next importance apart from the sexuality part. If these two parts are not understood by us, we'll not able to understand why a lot of marriages today is failing after few years of marriage or even few months, leading to divorce, separation, or unhappy marriages, or couples seeking sexual counseling services because they are not sexually compatible. And in current times, both men and women are seeking pleasures and satisfaction. And it's not just with men, it's there with girls and women. Even they want to be sexually satisfied. If they are having issues and problems, they raise an alarm. So that's the reason they want to have premarital sex, or they want to enter into few years of relationship before entering into or jumping onto the marriage. And while all these things are actually happening which I'm talking about, religion, values, ethics, doing ritualistic things in their respective religion, they all take up a big backseat. Your fooding habits, your drinking habits, your other rituals, they don't hold any importance for the youth, for the millennials. The individual matters the most. Even the families do not matter, because a lot of these urban millennials don't want to stay with parents. For example, girls don't want to stay with, the boys' parents. It is being termed as a joint family. Means your own boy's mother and father might be treated as a joint family. So they're living separately. They both are working, they're independent, they're earning good amount of money, they can take care of themselves, and it's a precondition before marriage to live separately. So I'm trying to highlight the priorities of the current youth. So the priorities are very self-centered to them. So sexuality is a very personal matter. We cannot control, or we should not actually control it, or people are free, society is free to do anything. I'm just trying to bring about a discussion and highlight a situation, a behavioral situation, that aspects pertaining to religion and faith are taking backseat, in which faith, which have stricter principles and value systems, are facing the biggest of the brunt due to these liberal thought process. And sexuality will be gaining more importance as the Indian society is getting highly modernized. It's welcoming the foreign culture into the country a lot. That's going to impact the overall behavior of the upcoming youth, and it's going to have a very big impact on the overall society. So today, the food habits or the drinking habits are no more a taboo, because they are not taking into consideration. For example, a probable husband might be drinking and eating, have different food habits, and the wife might not be having it, but still they enter into a marriage. And when they have problems, they start complaining after a few years. But before marriage, when they are into a relationship, they're having an affair, they're dating each other, they don't talk on these issues, because the issues are particularly very individualistic. So I'm mentioning the term sexuality. It's not just the act of doing sex. Sexuality has a lot of different connotations. So it's very individualistic, and career and money is also very individualistic. You need to have a very good life. So economics and finance are also very important. So your education, where you're working, it's very important. Or even if you are in a business, money part is very important. So sexuality and money, what goes at the back seat are the faith, the value system. They are being ignored. And when the marriage is running into rough waters, these value systems are then remembered, are recalled. That why didn't we thought about them earlier in our lives? But it's too late. Either the marriage will be will be unhappy marriage, or they'll end up divorce. Or even in some cases it might be that the marriage is successful. They don't actually care about faith and values anymore. And that's the reason why interfaith marriages are actually increasing in our society. The intercaste marriages are fine. Casteism, I'm not, I'm a believer much into it. So caste is fine, but the faith and the value system, it's not just religion. Your values systems are taking a backseat. So that was a entire point of this particular video. That this is how the millennial and the youth is thinking currently in India. And if we don't align by it, we'll be in a fool's paradise. So that's all for this video. Thank you. Goodbye.